This video is proudly sponsored by DigimonCard.io for all your Digimon card, deck building, deck list, card pricing, and discussion needs.
Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and today we have an updated tier list for the Digimon BT11 meta. When I made my previous tier list, which is on the screen right now, this was going into the finals format, which was essentially the first time we got BT11 for tournaments in the North America regions, but also Europe and Oceania. So definitely prediction based, but now that we've had all of those events conclude and I have the data for it, I wanted to do an updated tier list based on what we actually saw. So, and if you guys are interested in that data, I have it all hosted here on my website, Eggman Events. So I've been working really hard on this website for the last couple of weeks to make sure that it's very good with content and you guys can navigate and such. So here are all the archetypes that have topped in the last 2 weeks in the BT11 meta, except for a couple for Europe because I only got the top 32, not the bottom 32 for that. But I did find the Galacticmon list, which wasn't available when I did that breakdown. And if you guys go to there, you can go to the actual deck list right here. It brings it up in DigimonCard.io. But then also you can go to other breakdowns as well. So I have the video, but if you click here on the 2022 finals, it brings up the entire breakdown. So you'll see I have all the top 16 and 2 decks from the top 32. If you guys know any more, I'll gladly put them here. I just don't have access to it. But then you can also go to back to events and you can see all of the all the breakdowns for all 3 of the finals around the world. So if you want to see some other lists, same thing, you click here, go and click one of these. So I've been working hard on that and I hope you guys enjoy it, and that's where I get all of this data for. So anyways, for this tier list in general, so if on the screen right now is a pie chart of all of the archetypes that have topped in this in all 3 of the events. So there are 33 Black War Greymon X, 18 Grandis, 11 Crosshearts, 5 War Grey X, 4 Security Control, 4 Jesmons, 5 Blue Flares, 3 Mervas, 2 Machinedramons, 2 Ulforce, 2 Beelstar, a Mastamon, Metal Guru X, Bloomlord, Galactimon, Examon, Beelzemon, and Dorbic as well. So honestly, a lot of topping lists, and when going into this format, I know a lot of people have been kind of angsty about not really liking the format that much or being a little bit rough, but we had a lot of different archetypes top, a lot more than I thought was going to top for this as well. So, but because of this too, and honestly, all of the runner-ups for around the world were ones that also topped. It was like Black War Grey X, Crossheart, and Grandis for that. So I did update the kind of labels for it. So it's national winners, top 32, one-ofs, and then 128s, and then the same for someone who brought it to national. So we're just going to go from top to bottom of where they were originally rated, and we're going to get some, just move them around and talk about my thoughts for all of the decks. So we're going to do that right now, and we're going to start with Black War Grey X and Grandis. Both of these, honestly, just kind of deserve to be where they're at. I don't think this was a big surprise that these were 2 of the most popular lists, and they are the 2 most topping lists for this as well. Black War Greymon 1-1, Grandis 1-1, and then the other one, I'm going to just kind of move it up here because we're talking about it, is Shoutmon, or Crossheart rather. So this is honestly, I felt kind of like I shouldn't put it up here because I didn't want it to be wrong about it, but man, I really did enjoy Crossheart. So if I was playing at this event and not commentating in the North American finals, Crossheart was definitely the deck I would have brought to it. And of the 3, these are the top 3 lists. Each one of these did win one of the finals across the world, as well as were in the tops. It didn't top at all in Oceania. Crossheart didn't, which is really weird, but in North America and Europe, it also topped very well. So I think these are the 3 best decks in the format right now. And the only rough thing is that, as we've seen in the North American finals, that Hades Force just invalidates this deck, which is really unfortunate a lot of the time. So that's something that this deck is a little bit weak to, is specifically the tamer removal that this deck can do very easily, and you do have to be a little bit careful of. So next up, Metal Gurumon X. We're going to move this all the way down here. I didn't think that, I don't know, I thought this deck would be better, and I think a lot of other people did too, but it only topped in one event, in the Oceania event. So we're putting it down here in the one-ofs, but man, it's really interesting to see how much it's fallen off. A lot of people, including myself, thought that it wouldn't, you have to do something really good, or change a card, remove cards from this deck to make it not viable anymore, but it just looks like the format isn't really there for it. So we're leaving it down here in one-ofs. I think it's still okay, but I don't think it's going to be doing well in the future. So next up we have War Grey X, which did get the 3rd amount of tops, tied with Blue Flare. So I'm going to move both these up because they both kind of have some Metal Greymon X capabilities here. So I think he's pretty good at what he does. Obviously, just an aggressive red deck in a lot of ways. And it looks like it's probably the best one outside of Black War Greymon, which is kind of like a hybrid between the two. But it's really consistent. It kind of does what Black War Greymon wants to do as well. So the only difference is that it's more aggressive based and kind of mid-range control that the Black War Greymon X can do. And you get a lot of hits in security. A lot of them are just for free. You get your memory back, and I think this deck's really good. And then also for Metal Greymon X, or not Metal Greymon X, but the Blue Flare is very, very good. I think it's better. It's obviously better than Metal Greymon X right now. We did see some tops specifically in North American finals, and honestly, like the cheese combos you can do with it too. But I think the deck is good. I think that people will be playing it for the Ultimate Cup as well. I think it's in a good spot, and it's fine. Like I think, and honestly, like you see the lists that have been topping with it, and it's with just a couple of new cards from BT11. Most of them are just like, there's not a lot of them, right? Just some minor consistency buffs, but with that, I think this deck is a lot better. So next up, we have Security Control. And I think it deserves to be right here as well. It's pretty much, it got a couple tops, not as I'd say consistent as it used to be. It's hard to tell like if it just kind of lost to itself, where it would win if we had more time in some events. But I never really heard about people saying that like, oh, security control with time was really what got me or whatever. So I think the lists that did well are strong. I think it is obviously probably more of an RNG deck than a lot of these other ones at times, but if you play it well and you're able to see your stuff, it can do very well. So I think it lives in this top 32 bracket. Mastamon, let's see. Mastamon is in the one ofs. I do like this deck a lot, and I wish it was a little bit better, and I think a lot of other people wish it was a little bit better too. And the only issue with this is that I don't know what the deck is missing that could help it be more consistent without it being just broken. You know what I mean? I'm not sure what cards could fix it. I think it does do a lot of stuff. I think it's probably more consistent than it's been in a long time. It's just kind of like what the meta does and how it interacts with this deck means that it's very hard to get the maximum value. And sometimes like even just going to Mastamon, like you go into and you're like, cool, I did it. Now what, right? Like there's no like point. Like you did your big play, you got into your level 6 for cheap and you got some advantage from it. But that's really it. And then you're just like, I still hope my security is good, or I'm probably going to lose anyways. So interesting to see what happens with that deck in the future. I really do like Mastamon, but I do agree, like sometimes it does some cool stuff, but sometimes it bricks. And even when it doesn't brick, the main kind of thing for the deck isn't super good. Like just the fact that this deck can run Chaos Degradation on color is probably good enough to keep it in the meta, but besides that, like it just does, I think, mediocre things for right now. So next up we have Buellstar, and Buellstar I think is it got a couple of tops, right? It got exactly 2, so we're out of the one of territory. I really like this deck. I really like what Buellstar does. It's really unique in a lot of ways. It's just always going to get kind of generically more support as long as they make 7-cost options. And I think it gets some more support in the new starter deck we're getting as well. So it's probably going to get a little bit better after that too. But I like the deck a lot and what it does. So happy to see a couple tops in there as well. Minervamon, I think it got 3. Okay, cool. So I'm going to put it right over here next to the Buellstar. But this deck too, I think is great. I think it's also very good in the Ultimate Cup format. I think there's some loop stuff you can do. Even without the werewolf mode, I think that this is a cool deck that really gets to recycle a lot of pieces, and it seems kind of good. So Ancient Greymon, it's probably gonna be good in the Ultimate Cup format, but right now I think it's just okay. I think War Greymon X, if you're allowed to use X antibody, it's just more consistent for what it does, and you don't have to like stall out. And like this has like pseudo removal at times, depending on what kind of lines you choose to go with it as well. So I think the deck is okay. I like what it does, and it's just okay for right now. We'll see if it does anything in Ultimate Cup for sure. Yellow Hybrid, I don't think anyone topped with this one either. That might be better with Ultimate Cup. Jespon, I put this in like the one ofs like at the last minute of my last video, or at least like where the top 32 is, and I think it bumped up. Yeah, we had quite a bit of Jespons in here, so I like the deck now, but like I'm always like cautious because like, oh, I thought for a long time it was going to be good, and then never went good. And then like got some support last set, and then last set it wasn't good, and then nothing changed in BT11, but I think it's still really good right now. I think the fact that it interacts with Black War Greymon and can attack over it at times is good enough for it to be meta. You do have to be careful though, because you do go kind of wide, and that can hurt you in some decks in ways, but it seems okay there. So next up we talked about those two, so we're going to go through the ones I was not so good. So honestly, like the ones in here, I think the biggest misses were for Metal Gurumon X, and that's about it. Like, I kind of had things where I wanted them to be. And then going to Alphamon, it didn't top. Not surprised with that one. Commandramon, I think it topped. No, it didn't top. It didn't top. Neither of these topped. All Force, it did get two tops. Yeah, two tops, so we're going to put it there. When I made the tier list, I didn't believe in the deck. The day before Nationals, I did release a video going over decks that I would bring. All Force is definitely one of them, and I think it is. I think I was wrong about that one, so I think that was one of my misses for my tier list, and I think that it's better now. And in the monocolor format, I think it's very good. I think a lot of people are looking into playing that for Ultimate Cup, so it's only going to get better in that format. I think I was wrong. I think I was 100% wrong with this being not very viable, and I think it's viable. You just have to be sure that everything gets where you want. So Machinedramon probably as well. I feel like All Force is better than Machinedramon, but this deck does do a lot of creative stuff. Obviously, it got a lot of new support in BT11. Originally, I said that the support was not enough, and I think that is wrong. The only issue with this deck is that you don't get a lot of cycle, right? So you do have to find pieces, and finding those pieces without drawing a lot of cards can be really rough. But once you have all the setup, you get like a lot of strong Machinedramons that are hard to remove, that make your opponent like really difficult just to interact with as well. And I think the deck does have places. I still wish there was a better way to set it up, but like with the support of Analog Man as well, that's a really crazy card for that deck. And I think it is good. I think that it's just really bricky at times as well. So Gallantmon, nothing in top 32s, but I think it might be better on the Ultimate Cups. Bloom Lord, I think is very good in the Ultimate Cups. In this one, it got one top, so we're going to move it up there. I'm not too surprised on that one. I think, one in the top 32, I think I was okay with that one. I don't think there's anything too crazy with that. I think it will get better in Ultimate Cups and people will try it out more, but we'll have to see there. Blue Hybrid, again, it didn't do anything, but I think that it will be better in Ultimate Cups. In Fearofdark, no, Examon did get a top. It's the only archetype I don't have in a top 32. So if you have the EU top 32 Examon list, please let me know so I can put it on my website and put Examon on the archetypes list as well. I'm curious to see what that deck looks like. Sukamon, nothing there. Skull Knightmon. I think this might get better in Ultimate Cup. For right now, there's nothing for it. Buelzamon, that did get a 1 of, so that's a big miss for me. And also, we're just going to talk about Galactamon as well. Both of these did get these top ones as well. So it is interesting to see that for us, and happy for it to get that top 32. I do have both these lists on there, so if you guys are curious about it, but I still look at these lists and I'm like, how did these top? How did these get in top 32? There's no way I could get a top 32 with these decks. So very congratulations to the deck builders and runners for these ones. But yeah, probably two of the biggest whiffs that I had on this. So I think that's everything. I'm not too surprised on there's one more deck though that I didn't even put in my tier list that did get a top 32. And the deck that I was wrong about the most is Dorbikmon, which I didn't even have on my original tier list. It was run in North America. It got not only a top 32 finish, but a top 16 finish with Bryce Jones running it. So that's probably the deck I was the wrongest about, the most wrong, however you want to say it. I even had commenters say like, oh, why didn't you put Dorbikmon? And I think I doubled down and said I don't think the deck is good. So that was a definitely miss for me, but I think the deck can be strong. It was streamed, so if you guys want to check that deck out in action, all of the nationals for the North America finals are on the Stage Zero channel, so I can link that too if you guys are curious for some of these matches. But I think this is honestly a pretty solid tier list for all the data that we have right now. It's a little bit of a shame that for the next couple weeks we don't have this format. We do have the BT11 Ultimate Cup format, so if you guys want me to make a tier list or go over my thoughts and decks for that format as well, please let me know and I'll definitely do that. But this is what I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please make sure to check out Eggman Events if you guys want any data. If you have any feedback for me on the website, I'd love to hear it. I want to make it the best that I can, and that will be it for me. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you all next time.
Damn it. Damn it.